imagine yourself standing in front of a huge mountain, a very huge mountain. Can you see it? No, Jay? Yes. Okay. Now I want you to replace that mountain with something that you're struggling with or an obstacle that you're trying to overcome. And if you already did, I want you to revisit that past of that obstacle. The title of my message is Not Tossing the Towel. Guys, open your eyes. Now I'm pretty sure you guys are all wondering, what does it mean to toss in the towel? Well, I'll basically demonstrate it by saying this. The definition is to stop trying to do something you have realized that you cannot succeed. Well, I have some good news, so I'm going to provide you guys with 3 key points of why you should not toss in the towel. The first key point of why you shouldn't toss in the towel is because there's a success story at the end. Everyone has visions and goals that they want to accomplish, whatever that be, getting your dream job, or traveling, or owning your business one day, or just simply passing classes at FIU. But sometimes I realize, or I find ourselves coming across and looking at a mountain or obstacle as if it's something that is impossible to overcome. But you have to realize, you have to change your mindset and look at that mountain and see from a standpoint that there is a success, that there is a victory, that there is an end goal on the opposite side of that mountain. And having that mindset will definitely change your perspective, and it also encourages you of why you shouldn't toss in the towel. My second key point of why you shouldn't toss in the towel, because there's a process you have to go through. There's 3 things that I seem to notice that some people want to be successful, but they're not willing to put in the work. And I also see that some people see other successful people, but they never see how they actually got there. So they just look at the success more instead of looking at the struggles that the other person actually tried to kind of accomplish and stuff like that. And also, I also seen that some people want like different shortcuts in life or just any of that nature. But I realized that before I realized that you can accomplish these things, before you can accomplish these things, there's a process you have to go through. And your process might look like you're not good enough, or in that season that you're in, you might not be good enough, or you feel unqualified, or you feel afraid or hesitant. But you have to remember that the process is actually developing your character and your perception, meaning that the way you see things, and also you're learning new things about yourself, and which is basically self-awareness. And the quote that I want to leave you guys with is by Layla Dila. She basically sums it up by saying, grapes must be crushed to make wine. Diamonds form under pressure. Olives are pressed to release oil. Seeds grow in darkness. Whenever you feel crushed, under pressure, pressed, or in darkness, you're in a powerful place of transformation/transmutation. And to basically sum up that whole sermon or whatever, trusting the process is preparing you to become the person you will be on that opposite side of the mountain. That's why I wanted you guys to kind of picture your mountain in front of you so that you can take these key points and actually apply it to your life. The third tip I want to leave you guys with why you shouldn't toss in the towel, because it's part of your testimony. And what I mean by that is whatever you go through will also be an answer to someone else's problem. You have to think of it as there's always someone out there who's going through the same struggles and hardships that you're going through, and they're asking themselves, is there anyone else who's going through the same thing that I'm going through? Or how did they get there? What are the strategies that they're using, and how did they overcome that mountain or obstacle or any of that nature? But sometimes I realize that you have to go through the process. Yeah, you have to go through the process in order for you to come out of it and also teach others the different strategies that you learned over the past couple of years, whatever that may be in your whole process or obstacle. And I want to leave you guys with this of kind of like my testimony of what I went through and how it kind of relates to this whole message. So I'm going to take you guys back to my 10th grade year of high school. 10th grade year of high school, and I remember that there was this standardized test called FCAT at don't know if you guys heard of it. I don't know if you guys heard of it. I'm pretty sure before they changed it to the FSA. And for some reason, I could not pass that test. I didn't know why. I took it probably like 7 times. And I was thinking to myself, side note, I am Christian. I believe in God and Jesus and his miracles and everything. So I was like praying and fasting, like, God, why am I not passing this test? I feel like I don't know how to say it. I feel like I'm afraid, or I'm like unqualified, or I'm failing. I don't know why I'm a failure. I know that I'm not a failure because I am smart, but why can I not pass this test? And I was keep on praying and fasting, and I was seeking the Lord. And long story short, I ended up wanting to go take the test, and I had to take the ACT to kind of replace the FCAT score. And I remember I was in the room, and it was almost time to take the reading exam, but I fell asleep, and it was just really bad. And I remember the Lord called my name. It was like, Danise. The moment he called my name, the professor was like, okay, let's going to take the reading exam. Imagine if I didn't wake up. Imagine if God did not tell me to wake up. I would have missed the exam, and I wouldn't be able to pass. So long story short, I ended up seeing the results. At first, I looked at the results. I saw a 16. I'm like, what? Because the passing score, you have to get a 19 or higher, and I got 16. But then something told me to scroll down, and I actually got more than what I even asked for, and it was a 21. Yeah, 21, which is good. I passed the passing score. And to kind of tie up all my message of what I'm saying, I want you guys to remember that do not toss in the towel, that there is a success story at the end of that mountain that you can actually overcome.